First case is day 2. Here at track 1, we have Nikola Ilijin. He's HR manager at Microsoft Software Serbia and is also responsible for offices in Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Ukraine, and Georgia. He has 10 years of work experience in HR at Adecco, Samsung Electronics Adriatics, and Societe Generale Bank. His favorite topics are employee development and building an inclusive work environment. Welcome, Nikola.
Thank you. It's really great to be here during this amazing HR week, and I'm very happy that I'm having opportunity to speak about one of my favorite topics and to mention how we can really make diversity a business priority.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you so much. So for the beginning, I would like to tell you a bit more about context and about culture of Microsoft, because that is what is really important when we are speaking here about diversity. And then I'm going to present you our showcase project, let's say, something that we are doing on C level, which we are very proud of. So let me start for the beginning talking about Microsoft. So first, Microsoft was founded in 1975, and we always had the same goal. We pursue the same passion for technology, innovation, and for constant learning, let's say. But that was 40 years ago. So what we wanted to do and what we needed to do is to think about how we can change as well. The turning point for Microsoft was when in 2014, Satya Nadella was appointed as a third CEO in company. So it was only third CEO for such a long period. And he brought really a fresh perspective to Microsoft. So that was something that was really new. And he understood how much mission and culture are important as topics for Microsoft and for any company, actually. So that's where some kind of transformation started. So we figured out that what brought us here to this point of success is not what is going to bring us where we want to be in future as well. And we had a lot of changes. I can just present you a bit of a business landscape. So previously, Microsoft was focused on selling a full product, let's say, which is let's say Windows and other products, and through licensing. So that's something completely different to current model where we are operating in, where we are working with cloud, artificial intelligence, and trying to solve complex business problems of our customers. So that requires really different culture and different mindset that we are having. So building on the past 40 years and using those experiences is helping us to evolve in future and to think where we are going to land in the next 40 years. This is especially due to digital transformation and the need for any company to change its culture as well. So not just the tools and how we are operating as well. But let's talk here about some workforce trends that we are observing that are happening. So first, something that all HRs are familiar with is war for talents and scarcity of talents. So we are all fighting over the talents in any market, let's say, and there is lack of skills that is happening on the market as well. That is why this is one workforce trend which is significantly influencing all companies in their behaviors, right? Then work and skills are being transformed. So what we were doing in past, we are not doing now, or we are not going to do in future. So we need different skills and capabilities from our employees. Then also, it is not only about attracting the talents, but it is about how to keep them, how to retain them. And diversity and inclusion is not something that is only one trending topic. This is something that is really existential and, let's say, essential for the companies, because there is a saying that I go where I'm invited, but I stay where I'm welcomed. So it's not just about bringing talents, but making them feel welcome and to feel that they belong to environment where they are working in. Then we are also having a shift in work structure, let's say. So we are having a lot of millennials coming into the field, already being in the field, let's say. But by 2025, there is estimation that 75% of workforce will be millennials, which means that for them, important things are purpose and culture. So sometimes they're even accepting some roles where they will have less money, but they will belong to the right culture and be able to pursue a proper purpose that they want to. And of course, we are observing also a shift from formal to dynamic teams in how we are working, flexible arrangements, work from home, flexible working hours, and so on. Those are all things which are influencing also need to change the culture where we are operating. And then that brought us as a Microsoft to changing our mission. So now our mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And that is something that is constantly leading us through all our things that we are doing. But looking deeper, what is our culture? And I know now that it might be easy to be cynical and to say, growth mindset, that's just a buzzword. But for us, growth mindset is really the question of mindset and what are we doing with this? So are we learning from mistakes? Are we trying to act as if we know everything, or if we want to learn everything and to understand how we can change? So growth mindset is, let's say, the background and the basis of our culture, but there are three culture pillars that we are having, and you see them in the middle of this slide: customer obsessed, diverse and inclusive, and one Microsoft. Why I'm sharing this now with you? Because it is important for you to understand that diversity and inclusion for Microsoft is one of the central cultural pillars. So it is something that is constantly being emphasized and something that every employee of Microsoft is being aware of. And we are not here talking only about um, something that is only on the paper, but we are trying to embed this in all processes and discussions that we are having with managers and employees. But still, why we are talking about diversity and inclusion, why they're important, and how can you even sell it, let's say, to your management, and how to sell it to your employees as well? We have some data behind this, and 80% of one survey, and I need to put a disclaimer here that those are US data, but they are still very relevant. So 80% of people are saying that inclusion is an important factor when they are choosing employer, and 72% of people are saying that they would choose more inclusive employer over current one. That is important data to know. Then in US, 43% of millennial adults are non-white, and by 2060 they will become majority in a way. So that is something that is influencing need to think more about diversity and inclusion, and we need constantly to think about that. But also, what is the business impact of the diversity and inclusion? Data is showing us that inclusive environments are 6 times more likely to be innovative and agile, and 8 times more likely to achieve better business outcomes. So, when we are talking about diversity and inclusion, we are not talking only about fairness and why this is important from the, let's say, ethical perspective, but it is also important as a topic because it has business side as well. So first, I was already talking to you about let's say attracting talents, then keeping talents as well, because we need to think about that maybe we don't have ideal representations in the companies, but still we are having diverse workforce. So we need to make them feel included, so they feel appreciated and welcome in work environment and being able to be fully themselves. Because only when you are able to be fully yourself, you are able to show full commitment to be innovative, etc. Those are things which are really important. Then also looking from the customer side, you are having customers, whatever is your industry, who are diverse population. And if you are having your teams who are not diverse, how are you able then to address different needs of different customers who you don't understand, coming from different cultures, being males, females, or anything else? Those are things which we really need to take into account, why it is so important to have diverse teams. Uh, Then I wanted to share also with you that we are having one program that we are delivering on the local level, and we are doing much more things. I just want first to mention several of them. So, as a company, we are doing at this moment programs such as allyship and covering. And this is the program that is helping all employees to be part of building inclusive culture. So it's not only about, managers discussing with employees, HR building some programs and initiatives, but about employees learning how they can help each other's building more inclusive culture, how you can be ally to your colleagues, how can you help them in situations which might not be ideal, where they might feel excluded. And that happens everywhere, everywhere, no matter what is the company. This is something that happens, and change of the culture. It's not that like you have anywhere ideal environment and that everything is working perfectly. So we constantly need to think how all employees can build this culture, let's say. Then what we are doing as well, we are embedding in our core priorities for all employees, meaning that when we have a start of new fiscal year, we are setting up goals for our employees. They are setting up for themselves with managers that they need to set up one goal which is related to diversity and inclusion. And that is also making them think about what can I learn, what can I do differently, how can I become more inclusive, and which kind of behaviors can I exercise more for inclusion. Then I wanted to mention also one example from a local market where in Serbia we implemented recently a health insurance benefit also for same-sex partners. So that is something that is symbolic sign, but also very pragmatical thing where we want to show that we really care about inclusion in many possible ways. But I wanted to, as I said before, to tell you more about one initiative that we are doing on CE level, which is meant to boost careers of our female talents. Female representation is something that is really important for us, and we are year over year more successful in that. But we want also to increase and to boost their careers and to help them to be more quick when it comes to changing roles, to finding new opportunities, and so on. So we developed an initiative called Flow, and it's an acronym of Female Leaders on the Way. This initiative has several goals. So we are aiming to increase competency for professional growth, and as I said before, to boost careers of our female participants. And we are here developing and working with a female population who is not early in career nor senior, but somewhere in between, and how we can help them to grow further professionally. We are helping them to identify their strengths and then to use those strengths in defining their personal brand as well. That is something that is really important for us when you're thinking about how you are positioning yourself professionally and what do you want to achieve. We are helping them to build career connections, and important thing is because the program is about them, and then we wanted to have something where they would give back in a way and in turn strengthen female but also early in career population, so not having all experiences only for them but how they can return back as well. And then creating community is really important for this initiative because we have in every cohort of the Flow initiative around 40 ladies coming from different countries in CE. So they're coming from subsidiaries, from regional teams, they're coming from sales, marketing, HR, finance, and engineering as well, which is really important because then that is really diverse population. They are different of age as well, they're having different work styles, some of them are having families, some not, so it is really different what is their situation and their personal experience. Creating community helps them to have a bit of support network, but also when it comes to understanding which roles do exist and how they can progress and change their career in future. So that is why community is really important in this experience. As I said, each cohort is having approximately 40 participants every year, and it lasts for approximately 6 months. It is designed in a way that we are having 3 modules, each module lasting for 2 days, and that is kind of in-class interactive sessions where they're having some presentations and then discussing, reflecting, and exercising some of the skills. But besides that, we are aiming to provide them experiences, whether through their managers, but through some individual, peer, or group work. For example, they are doing some one project together as a team where they need to work on business related tasks and to deliver some outcomes and present them to leadership team, therefore exercising more skills. Um, we are investing a lot in their networking and connecting them to various senior leaders, but the focal point of Flow initiative is thinking about their career development plan. So as a prerequisite in application process for the program, they need to submit their career development plan in order to show their commitment to this initiative and to experience that they will go through. But then throughout the flow, they are reviewing it as well with new insights that they figured out. And then that helps them to be more intentional when it comes to their career development. Because sometimes it's easy to be confused about what is the next step and how you're going to reach it. We are measuring success as well here. So we are tracking what is the number of participants which is moving from their roles to any other roles. So no matter if it is people manager or individual contributor, we want to increase velocity and to push for candidates to potentially change roles and to learn new experiences, because that helps company as well and them to succeed. We are also tracking experiences provided to participants. For example, how many of them were joining part of managerial community, if they had one-to-one sessions with their general manager or HR, if succession slates as well are being strengthened, and we are tracking that through talent conversations that we are having. And of course, we are constantly monitoring feedback coming directly from participants, but their managers as well. What are some of the topics that we are covering and content that we are having in this flow? So first, we are starting with self-assessment tool, which is based on strengths, because it is important to clarify for them how they can develop their skills based on where they are strongest comparing to where they need improvement. So we are helping them to understand where they are strongest. Then we are advising them and helping them to define strategies for success and to position themselves properly. We are teaching also them how to have efficient career conversations with their managers. So, and then they are exercising this through peer coaching, and later they are coaching early in career colleagues. Um, I'm already mentioned leadership hackathon as a project they are working on. We are inviting a lot of senior leaders who are sharing their stories with participants and encouraging them in their career efforts. And we are also having Career Jam, where we are connecting them per their choice with senior leaders and helping them to drive their career further. We are proud to say that we are now having the fifth year of Flow and 190 participants in this program. 50% of them have taken on a significant stretch assignment, 33% of them increased scope of the role, and 52% of them had role changes in last 3 years. As I said, feedback from participants is really important for us. So we also are tracking how they are rating this experience, and they say that it is, if it is useful for their career development, graded with 4.6. For the end, I wanted to share with you some of the successes and learnings that we are having with this initiative. So first, besides, of course, the regular metrics, we are having strong business sponsorship, and we are doing co-facilitation now with business, which is helping us a lot to have strong senior presence throughout the Flow experience. Then, because it's easy to have an initiative like Flow being designed only by HR, so what HR thinks it's useful for you. But we are now having mix in virtual team who is designing Flow with business as well. So even having ex-Flow participant reflecting on what can we do differently and better. We are being more and more agile, adjusting content as we go, because we figured out in last cohort that there are some steps that we would need to think about how we can improve content, and we were doing that as we went through the program, so live, let's say, and then switching to virtual due to COVID in the third session. So that was something that was challenging in a way. We are very proud that we are creating strong sense of community and trust, because it's important for them to be able to speak openly, to open up, to share their reflections and stories, and to learn from each others. And also alumni flowers, let's say, are our best advocates, and they are really promoting our program to other potential participants and managers as well. But what are some of our learnings and where we can progress furthermore? So we needed to manage expectations, and we are still doing that, because sometimes it's easy when you are being part of this kind of experience to expect, now I'm going to be promoted or something. But it is up to them. It is their commitment, their accountability, and they need to choose roles that they want to land. And it's not only managerial as great roles, you have great individual contributor roles where they can thrive, let's say. Branding is really important. So for us as an HR, we are more focused on content, and then we figured out that like it's not everything, and we need to think more about how we brand the program, how we are showcasing it externally, internally, and so on. So we have marketing specialist as well who is working with us at this moment, and also thinking about how to leverage more success stories of previous flow members and to encourage participants furthermore. Important piece is also how to increase commitment of participants, especially in virtual environment, because it's very easy to just jump off the virtual, let's say, event, and then to do something, to have a phone call or something similar. So we are constantly reflecting on that. How can we really increase this commitment? Um, and we are learning a lot from other programs that we are seeing in the region, because we were maybe the first one who started similar activity in broader region, but then some others started as well, and we exchanged experience and embedded this in part of our program as well.